Hi guys, Bacchus Bruce got the 2013 Villabella Valpolicella Ripasso. Got this for just $4.99 over at the Grocery Outlet here in Hayward. This is a $16 bottle of wine online. It's got a little bit of age and it's got a really great story to it. So in the world of Valpolicella, the top of the food chain is the Amarone, of course. And Amarone is a way of making wine that you take the juice from dried grapes. So Ripasso, meaning second pass in Italian, is basically taking the best of both worlds. You're making the wine after harvest in the fall, and essentially you let the wine kind of sit until springtime when your Amarone grape clusters are dried and ready to press. And so once you've gotten done pressing those, you take the skins and you literally dump them right back into the Valpolicella. And that does a handful of things. One, it adds some complexity to the wine. It adds a little bit of color as well. And you can see on this beautiful kind of deep brooding color with this wine. It also, of course, boosts alcohol because secondary fermentation creates more alcohol. And this sits at about 14%, which in the world of California wine isn't really all that high. We drink 14% wine all the time here in California. So it just kind of goes to show how we kind of really need to look at that whole ABV thing. But the Villabella brand is owned by a restaurant hotel group called the Cristoforetti-Delibori group, who own a beautiful property right there on Lake Garda called the Villa Cordovigo, where they showcase the Villabella wines. It looks like a fabulous place, got a fantastic restaurant there, and Villabella, the brand's been around for a while, definitely has a little bit of distinction to it. So let's go ahead and take a look at the wine here and see what we have on the nose. So real pretty, a lot of really lovely black cherry fruit, really ripe. Now you can imagine with all the skins from the Amarone loaded with sugar, so there's going to definitely be a ripeness to it. Now that said, Corvina blends really aren't notable for their ripeness and fruit forward, and there is definitely a lot of other things going on with this wine as well. Primarily I'm getting a little bit of licorice and kind of like a white pepper, maybe almost like a black pepper spice, but there's also a fantastic kind of smoked meat to this sort of thing, like a meatiness. It's lovely, kind of gamey, almost Rhone-like. Also getting a little bit of black tea and kind of reminiscent of like a grilled ratatouille. So some really fantastic notes. And again, because of the dried fruit, I'm not picking up a whole lot of that raisininess, which I kind of was expecting actually. So let's see what we have on the palate. So at 14%, you can imagine it's a big wine. Now that said, it's extremely balanced. It's got, again, a lot of that pretty really forward cherry fruit to it. But what is really intriguing about this wine is the mid palate. It just kind of sits there and kind of tantalizes your taste buds. It's got really moderate plus acidity, which is fantastic. And it's got this kind of chewiness to it as well, but it definitely has some other kind of savory notes as well. It's like sour prunes, for example. I'm getting a little bit of smoke, a little bit of leather, maybe a little bit of tar. The wine is definitely masculine style. There's no doubt about it. It's a big one. Now, another notable part about this wine is it's extremely long finish. It just completely lingers and lingers. It's just a lovely $5 bottle of wine, and I feel fortunate to have run into it. Maybe ageability, a couple more years, who knows? We'll see in the tasting room.